And then you can go ahead.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes. Mhm.
How about now?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining the Dallas UiPath chapter. This is going to be the second session. The previous one we did, it is about a studio web, one of the products of UiPath. But in this session, it's mostly for the newbies, mainly focusing on how to, shift their focus towards RPA and especially UiPath, and how to get a job and how to launch your career in UiPath RPA development. So, Diana, you would like to introduce?
Sure. So I'm Diana Gray. I'm the community marketing manager for UiPath in Americas, which covers Canada, Latin America, and the USA. And we just want to welcome you today and just let you know that this is a chapter meeting for Dallas. So if you have any other topics you'd like to hear, please just put them in the chat. We're recording this session today, and I'll also put in the chat where you can find the recording tomorrow. So I'll turn it back over to you, Naveen.
Hey, thanks, Diana. And myself, Naveen Chatlapalli. I'm working as a solution architect at Ashling Partners, and I am also one of the I'm the lead Dallas chapter for UiPath. So that's a short introduction about myself. And going to today's agenda, as I previously mentioned, this is mostly for the newbies and anyone who haven't had some prior experience with RPA, or who wants to more refine their process of transferring or shifting their career or into higher levels in their RPA portfolio, and how to create an RPA portfolio and how to reach out the recruiters and how to become successful in your RPA career. So these are the things that we are going to cover in today's discussion. Mostly, I might not have the complete session for all these slides. So I'll leave some time for open discussion and Q&As. So short story about myself. As I told, I'm a lead, I'm a solution architect working at Ashling Partners. So Ashling Partners is one of the leading diamond partners with UiPath, but I did not directly land a job in Ashling Partners as easy. So it went through some little struggle. So prior to that, what happened? I'll just explain a short story about myself. So exactly 4 years from now, like in 2019, I was working as a .NET developer. So I used to have 6+ years prior to that as a .NET developer, and I was very comfortable with my job, and I don't want to shift. But I at some point in my career, I felt very mundane and routine, and I wanted to do something else. And I was trying to do some automations by using some Selenium and all these things. But it is very hard. Even I'm coming from a .NET background, I wanted to make things simpler. So I wanted to understand or find out some tools, if there are any plug and play tools or no code, low code tools, where I heard the time back in 4 years about how this is going to happen. Then I found some tutorial videos in YouTube about UiPath, and I was so intrigued, like how can a drag and drop tool perform so many activities that I'm writing so much code in .NET for. So that's what shifted my focus towards UiPath. And I think in May, like end of May in 2019 or starting of June, I started learning about UiPath. And I never stopped there. Like if I wanted to learn something, I wanted to see until certain extents to do what I can do with that. So there I met some community managers in around in Dallas area. Her name is Judy. So she helped me a lot in focusing or shifting my career towards UiPath. And she also mentioned that they are running an hackathon, conducting for any professionals and who are interested in RPA, or who are, who wants to prove themselves in RPA. So for that, participating in UiPath hackathon, they said we have to be at least having a diploma in one of their RPA developers like courses. So I took it as a challenge, and I completed that academy diploma of advanced RPA developer within a month of time. So, and I participated in that hackathon with one of my friends, Dalton Russell. He's the person I met at the hackathon. He's not my friend actually, but from there we became friends, and it's a different story though. So this hackathon has been conducted all over United States in the month of August 2019, I guess. Yeah, August 2019, and it's a 48-hour hackathon. So 2 days we have to sit there and brainstorm some ideas, like how does RPA fit in the picture of enterprise, or any kind of things, and all these things. So I myself and Dalton had come up with an idea of student admission process automation. So most of the people who come to United States will be coming to pursue their masters, like myself and Dalton as well. So there will be a lot of steps in iterating through that process. And I wanted to propose an idea or propose a solution which implements UiPath for easing or automating the student admission process. Like when the student sends an admission packet to the university's admission department, so a bot will automatically pick the emails from that mailbox, and it will extract the documents, and it will, based on the checklist that it has been received, whether all the documents are received or not, it will check those things, and it will send them to the respective departments. And from there, another bot will identify the machine learning analysis of whether the statement of purpose has been defined or not, and all these things. And it will send the acceptability score to the respective department owners or department heads at that time. So all these layers of process we have developed and designed in that particular hackathon for 48 hours. And finally, it won the first prize. And there I took a decision that, okay, now I wanted to shift my career from a .NET developer to an RPA developer. And since then, I started applying for RPA developer jobs, but it is not an easy task. Like, it is not a cakewalk. Like, no one used to hire a fresher. Even UiPath has some run around like 4 or 5 years prior to that. People were asking, were you having any experience prior to this? But Ashling Partners is the one company who believed in me and who trusted me that I can perform well based on the ideas that I was discussing. I was very, very proactive in my learnings and speaking. So from there, I started my career. Like, they offered me a job as an RPA developer. And from there, I started learning about what enterprise level RPA looks like. It is far like more ahead the way I described in my hackathon concept and hackathon idea. It is not an easy task. So there has to be a lot of security concerns that needs to be taken care, and there has to be a lot of reusability that needs to be achieved when you're developing for an enterprise level softwares like that. And those are topics have to be discussed there. And from there, I proved myself, and within very less time, 6 to 8 months, I became a lead RPA developer. And after a year of time, I also became a solution architect at Ashling Partners. And currently, I'm working as a solution architect, where I have to, oversee lots of operations, and I have to design the solutions of RPA with lots of other products also, like OpenAI, chat embedding, chat GPT, many other tools, not only this ones, Workato, Microsoft Power Platform, Power Apps, and all these things. So I have to, as a solution architect, I have to design the solutions on all these aspects. But mostly my major focus is on UiPath, and Ashling Partners' main bread and butter is coming from UiPath as well. So we have a lot of implementations of a lot of ecosystem, UiPath ecosystem products, and it's very great to see and save a lot of human efforts that we are shifting our focus there. So many people used to ask me, and many people, when I'm working as a real RPA developer, many people used to ask me, hey, what is the difference and what is making sense when you are shifting your career from a .NET developer to an RPA developer? So they said, is it not it's not going to stay, I mean, it's going to be evaluated into something else, so why do you want to learn this? But see guys, this is not an easy thing. Like UiPath's iteration, if you see their growth from like very small team to this big enterprise publicly traded company, it's not an easy thing within this years, and they have been notioned and quoted as the unicorn. And it's not an easy thing. Like no one gets that tags and all these opportunities as easy. They did a hard work on their product, and they're bringing lots of other products and embedding their other solutions into their ecosystem and building this much more in a major way. So there is always a scope of learning many things in UiPath. So even if I ask my friend, if even of my friends and family ask me what I'm doing, I'm very happy to explain that I'm automating any human routine jobs by doing and building some software robots using UiPath. So that's a short story about myself. Going to the next slide. Why UiPath is so hot right now? So majorly 4 aspects: the industry growth, efficiency boost, and user friendliness and ecosystem. Mainly, as you see, the industry growth, right? So starting from 2016, the growth of UiPath has been skyrocketed, and it has been expanding, and it has been acquiring many companies like Stepshot, which became process mining, and task mining, and all these things. So the growth of industry coming from UiPath sector is very, very big. And there are many other possibilities also, not only developers, not only RPA developers, you can become process mining developers, you can become document understanding experts, you can become AI center experts by building some like data scientists who are using AI centers, who can also bring some out of the box machine learning models for automating their routine things at the work, and many other things like test suite automations where the normal QA developers are implementing these things. So there is a lot of industry growth that is happening with UiPath and in the RPA sector as well. So that is one of the major factor. And efficiency boost. So the UiPath bots can save the company's time by automating the mundane tasks. So this is one of the good thing, guys. So currently at one of the clients that I'm working for, we have around 10 developers team. But not only them, we have around 50 other citizen developers who are coming from accountant background, or some other consulting background, or some other finance background. They are also trying to learn about UiPath using Studio X and Studio Web automations, and they are also building small automation by themselves. So this is one of the efficiency boost that that UiPath is bringing to the table here, and which is making anyone to develop software robots. So people used to ask me, this is used to RPA is cutting down the jobs. No, it's not cutting down the jobs. It is transforming the jobs from one form to another form. Like previously, accountants used to do just the accounting. Now they are building small Studio X processes for automating their purpose, for automating their routine accounting thing within the spreadsheets by using some Studio X robots and Studio Web processes. So this is a big efficiency boost when you compare with the previous days, right? And user friendliness. So when you say UiPath, right, there are lots of drag and drop interface and activities that you can leverage using these activities, even for non-programmers. Like as I given you a previous example of accountants and other finance team people who are previously having no experience about programming. So they are developing these automations using these drag and drop interfaces and activities. So it is all about their learning, learning efficiency and their proactiveness of learning new things. And ecosystem. So as I mentioned, UiPath is not only about RPA. UiPath has many products like UiPath Studio, UiPath Orchestrator, UiPath Robots, and other products like process mining, AI center, document understanding, you name it. They're the stepping foot in every region, and they're also excelling their career, excelling their product focus line. Also recently, document understanding is one of the major aspects where the Gartner results. Gartner is one of the leaders of giving the software evaluations. So Gartner has named UiPath document understanding as one of the fastest growing leaders in the aspect criteria within no time, within 1 or 2 years of time. So that is the focus that they are giving to each and every product. So that is the reason UiPath is so hot right now. And going to the next slide, steps to mastering UiPath. So when you ask about myself, I would start relating these points from myself. Learning fundamentals. So there are many tutorials in the internet about UiPath, learning about UiPath and all these things. But I have learned it from academy itself, and there is a neat structured way of giving learning these fundamentals based on the role. So if you want to start as an RPA developer in the first place, so go to that role-based learning and in the academy, and learn the fundamentals in the first place, and then start building up from there. So it's not about learning just watching the videos or just taking notes. Mostly you have to practice whatever they are saying in the videos. Like I would say UiPath Academy videos are like top notch to at any extent. And like if anyone wants to ask me like where should I start, so go to UiPath Academy and start learning from based on the role based learning. That's what I say. And like put some time, put some deadlines, like I have to complete the advanced RPA developer training within 2 months of time, within 2 months of period. So you have to stick to that, and you have to revision, or you have to review yourself, or am I going in the correct path, or am I being deviated, or something like that. When you start something, right, you might be getting some questions, like you might be stuck somewhere or something like that. So at that point of time, you have a lot of help from UiPath forum, where lots of developer community around like 200K developers are there, and you can ask any of the questions there, and anyone will be responding to that questions. And also, it's not only the forum, you can also leverage UiPath YouTube tutorials. There are so many YouTube instructors who are excelled in giving these explanations for these questions. But what you should be doing is you should start with something. If you don't start, if you just watch the video of the recording from the academy, and if you take some notes, nothing will happen. Only once you get your hands dirty by building some projects, then that's where you start learning about these things, and that's where you will be focusing on problem solving. So problem solving is the most important thing when coming to RPA, and not only RPA, for any other software thing. So problem solving and understanding what is the nuance of what is the automation is looking for. So building sample projects. Also, when you wanted to building sample projects, right? So think about in your daily life. So what is that you can automate in your daily life? So if you're a student, right? So there might be some assignments data that you need to send it or upload it to some of the portals or college portals and all these things. So why don't you try to automate that process? So there might be some Word documents or there might be some Python document, Python coding files, or any JavaScript coding files or anything. So why don't you try to upload those files into the portal using UiPath? So just try to start thinking out yourself and start building those sample projects from your own life experiences, or your own like understand what is the routine thing that you are doing daily while which you wanted to automate using UiPath Studio or building the bots. Practice with real data. So building bots with automate on your work and testing them with sharing their colleagues. So if you don't have colleagues, right, so just share it with your friends. And what is the practice with the real data means? So let's take an example of a small automation, right? Small example of automating like filtering through an Excel spreadsheet, which is having around 10,000 rows of data, and you only wanted to filter only the, so there is a gender column, male and female, and you only wanted to get the female data outside of the 10,000 rows, and you wanted to perform some other data table operations and filtering operations there. And you wanted to convert the data into some other spreadsheet, from one spreadsheet to another spreadsheet. So how you want to do that? Like put down the steps. There will be lots of real data or some sample data that you can find online through GitHub and all these sample data. Or Kaggle.com also provides lots of sample data based on lots of machine learning data sets. So you can play around with that. So how to convert from CSV to Excel and all these things, right? So you have to practice with those kind of real data. So get some hands-on. So first of all, you have to start with fundamentals, building sample projects and practice with the real data. If you do all these three, then you are ready for getting certified. But to do all these things, you have to be focusing on completing at least one diploma, that is advanced RPA developer certification. And then you have to focus on RPA UiPath certification, which will give you some validation that, okay, this guy has performed has mastered in UiPath and he has qualified for the certification. So that is how you have to focus, and that is how you have to learn about UiPath, and that's how I did as well. And going to the next one, resources to accelerate your learning. As I told you, right, UiPath offers a wealth of resources. So first start with video tutorials on UiPath Academy, and they should be like role-based tutorials. Like if you want to go use Test Suite, go and watch the Test Suite automation roles. And if you want to do an RPA developer, just watch the role-based RPA developer. If you want to do some advanced solution architect roles, just go and follow those advanced role-based like academy tutorials, which are video tutorials, which will be having some hands-on practice as well. So just watching the videos will never take you anything. Just you have to implement and practice, and you have to fail fast and learn. So that's how you will iterate the process, and you have to be successful in learning those things. And there are so many blogs with tricks and tips, like blogs, I mean to say, like GitHub is one of the main tutorials where you can find UiPath projects on. And there are also other external blogs from many of the UiPath enthusiasts, so you can rely on them. And Stack Overflow is main thing, where you can ask for some questions and about UiPath basing on the stack layer there. So you can learn some tips and tricks there from UiPath, but mainly focus on forum and YouTube and GitHub. So those are the things that you have to focus on to accelerate your learning. But you have to start doing only these tutorials from UiPath Academy. That's what the major validation comes from. And then if you get stuck somewhere, so go and check for UiPath forum, and then look for some blogs and all these things. And if you also wanted to be more proactive, and if go and see on GitHub, right? So you can find on the GitHub, there is a search icon there. And if you just type UiPath there, and you can get a lot of projects where people are seeing. So I don't want you to copy all of their projects. So just see what they are building, and try to understand their coding terminology, and try to understand what they are trying to automate there. So in this way, this is also one of the best way of accelerating your learning thing. Creating your first UiPath project. So there are multiple steps in creating your first UiPath project. So first, choose a task that you wanted to automate. It can be PDF or web scraping, or web automation or anything, and designing the workflow and building the project and testing and update. So choosing a task means it is, as I told you, it has to come from your it is not mandatory. It can come from your own experiences, like what is that you are trying to do regularly, which you want to try to automate in your routine job. So let's take an example of collecting some information from your college website, or collecting some information from your any daily visiting websites, and converting that information into a spreadsheet or a PDF format. Like, this is my requirement. This is the task that I wanted to automate, right? So then how do I design that workflow? So what do I need there? Do I need to have a flow chart or a sequence or multiple sequences or multiple invoke codes? Like how am I going to achieve that? So you have to design that workflow and start building the project. So start leveraging the functionalities of UiPath Studio and start accepting, so start adding and start creating those activities by dragging and dropping the respective sequences and respective activities. So let's take an example of collecting the information from a website. So for a website, what you will be doing, you will opening a Chrome browser or Firefox browser or Google, any other browser, and you will be navigating to that particular URL, right? After that navigating that particular URL, is there a login required? Is there a username and password entry required? If it is required, you have to create a simple sequence for logging into particular website. And the second sequence will be like navigating to the particular page. Like if you want to navigate to some materials page, like in your school, let's take an example of your school website. Like, so your school materials, college materials will be there in one particular module. So you have to navigate to that particular module. And you have to, for that, you have to use some click activities and all these things. So name that sequence as navigating to that particular module. And once you do that, after that, what you have to do is you have to collect all the information in a table format that is on the website. So you have to get some extract data table. You have to use some extract data table activities there. So, and you have to play around with the selectors to make sure you are collecting all the information there. And once you collect that information into a data table, so you have to get out that data table into a worksheet. So you have to use the right range activity for or Excel application scope and all these things. So play around with this and try to get stuck somewhere. So if you don't have any problem, that means you're not doing anything. You're just copying and imitating someone. If you do something yourself on your own, then you will definitely have some problems where you will be looking to solve that problem. And also keep some time. Keep every time, keep some time checks. Like you have to finish this within half an hour with this module, like sequence of logging module within half an hour of time or 1 hour of time. And you have to keep a timer there. So once you complete 1 hour, are you really going in that direction or not? Just keep a tab on yourself. So make sure you are doing that properly. And if the time is exceeding, right? So also increase your time and increase your efficiency. So I'm not saying you can definitely build a login in 1 hour. It might be 2 hours if you're doing it initially, or if it can be like 3 hours. But initially it will be hard. But going on, you will definitely get some experience, and it will be like a cakewalk for you once you start doing these things. And testing and updating. So generally, once you build your components, right? So you have to do the unit testing and keep updating those until it works perfectly. So tweaks, I mean to say, there will be lots of selectors when you are using a web automation. So you have to make those selectors very dynamic. So to the tags to be very dynamic by using some wild characters and all these things. So how can you do that? So just think, keep updating yourself and keep tweaking your code until it works perfectly. Creating an RPA portfolio on the GitHub. So this is one of the very important things that I mention to everyone who wants to start their career into RPA and who wants to look for job opportunities there. Because nowadays no one believes that if you say I have did so many projects, blah blah blah, like I worked on real estate projects, I have worked on medical excellence project, like medical automation projects, and I worked on some other entertainment projects and all these things. But what have you worked on? Like, have you created any portfolio for them? I'm not saying copy the entire code base of what you have developed. It is not the right way to do. But try to like explain the structure and try to put that structure in your GitHub portfolio, which will be publicly available, right? So you can create public reports and private reports on GitHub. So create a public portfolio, public repositories in GitHub, and try to create a portfolio and write the neat description and in the README file, like what this process is doing and what have you tried to implement the components here, and what is the automation doing. I mean, you don't need to copy all the code from your previous experience, from your previous projects, but try to do that thing. So in that is the way of importance of building a portfolio. And if you don't have any enterprise level projects, right? So take the previous example, like you are logging into your college website and you are going to that module of logging in, like collecting the work from your college materials portal, and downloading that table information into a spreadsheet. Like these are all the steps. So create a portfolio of college portal automation, and create a repository college portfolio college website automation, and then try to write the README steps there. And once your UiPath Studio has a small on the bottom right corner, it has a connectivity that needs to be done with GitHub or any other repositories, online repositories like GitLab or anything. So get it connected to that and try to push all the code that you have built. Whatever the code that you have built in the previous sequence, like login sequence, collecting the information or navigating to that particular materials module and collecting the information from a spreadsheet into a spreadsheet. So all these different modules are there, right? So you are building that in a particular workflow. So try to create that simple workflow and push it to your GitHub or GitLab or whatever. So this will be one of your repository. So in that same way, try to create multiple repositories and build your portfolio based on, okay, these are the things that you have done and which will be going onto your resume. So which will be very neatly looking, and you can confidently speak about when recruiters ask you, okay, what have you built? You can show them, okay, this is my GitHub portfolio. You can go and visit there. I have built these automations, and you can check the GitHub README files, and you can go through there. I mean, it hardly takes like 5 to 10 minutes when you wanted to create a portfolio and push your code. All you are doing is just connecting your UiPath Studio with your GitHub. That's the connection you are making, and everything is streamlined. Every time you make some changes to your studio code, it will ask you whether there are any changes that needs to be pushed to the GitHub. And once you push them, it automatically appears onto the GitHub portfolio. So it will be so powerful. So anyone who wants to be very interested in looking at these, they can go and visit your portfolio and understand, okay, these are the things that you have built. Even if I wanted to recruit someone at my company, right, like I will ask them, hey, do you have any GitHub portfolio? Can I see your previous work that you have worked on? I mean, they don't need to have any previous enterprise level experience or previous work experience, but they can do their own self projects and they can build something on their own. So I can understand they are interested in creating a portfolio and showing to the recruiters or to the interviewers, okay, that I have built something with UiPath and this is what I have done. And how to create portfolio, and actually what to create a portfolio. So create reusable components or design quality bots. I mean to say, reusable components like logging into your college website can be used as a reusable component, right? So you can create library projects based on that thing, and you can upload those library components into GitHub also. So this will create a complete structured way of anyone who wants to navigate to your college portal, like any of your college students who wants to build an automation from UiPath, they can leverage your reusable components, and they can just drag and drop those things for passing their username and password and automatically logging into the college website portal. So that's what I meant by creating reusable components. And designing quality bots. So quality bot means I should say when someone sends me as a solution architect, like I do a lot of code reviews, and I agree with some aspects of the way that code has been developed and code has to be developed. So I mainly look at naming conventions. That means the naming conventions of the variable declaration and list string variables, integer variables have to be with a camel casing with the str, int, and all these things in the ahead of time. But once you start doing learning this UiPath, you will be getting into that. But what I mainly look at naming conventions, argument declarations, and annotations, and how the code is being looked at. Like if I have any for each loop inside for each, like iteration of for each inside for each, I don't like that, right? So you have to use some invoke codes to make sure you are using making the code readable for anyone. So also you have to identify or write some description there what this code is doing. So those are called as annotations. So this is what I meant by quality of design quality. So make sure your code is clean by maintaining the design quality for this way. And uploading to GitHub. As I told you, it is just making a connection, creating an account in GitHub and uploading your portfolio projects to the GitHub is a very easy task. So you can do it on the UiPath Studio itself. There is a small GitHub connectivity, not only GitHub, it is mainly Git connectivity. So you can add descriptions and keep your account clean and neat by adding some README files and all these things. So these are the ways of creating an RPA portfolio in GitHub. And going to the next slide. So networking with the RPA recruiters. So, okay, let's consider you already have completed your advanced RPA level diploma and forget about certification. So you have completed at least one diploma of RPA, advanced RPA developer of UiPath, and you have built some RPA portfolio, and you have uploaded your portfolio projects, like at least 2 to 3 portfolio projects to GitHub. And now you're ready for your marketing, like marketing in the sense, how to look for an RPA job. So mainly create an RPA profile in your LinkedIn and in the LinkedIn, and you clearly mention what are the projects that you have worked on, not in the experience place, but put them in the RPA projects, project space in the LinkedIn, and also upload your resume there. And when you wanted to reach out, right, LinkedIn mainly provides LinkedIn Pro for 30 days for free, I guess. So you can leverage those 30 days for reaching out to the for reaching out to the recruiters directly, or you can join lots of RPA groups. There are so many RPA groups, and where you can reach out to the people who are looking for jobs and all these things. But don't fall into the trap of like anyone who asks for, hey, do you want to work for free on these RPA projects? I'm working on something interesting, something like that. So don't fall for those traps. Nothing is free. So you have to definitely charge for your services. So just make sure you are leveraging the opportunity of utilizing your knowledge. And if you are working on something, right, don't do it for free. If it is an initial opportunity, just make sure you are working 1 month, and you have to be very confident enough that you have to ask for some pay, and you have to discuss that ahead of time. So just make sure that don't fall into the trap of working for free, and no internship is also free. So internships also have to be paid because they are leveraging your services, and you are concentrating on the work that they're going to assign you. So why do they want you to work for free, right? So don't ever work for free. Always try to leverage the options that you have. And also major focus is the meetups and conferences. As I told, in 4 years back, I started going into the in-person meetups, which are conducted by some UiPath folks at that time. So one of our name is Judy, I told you today. So she conducted a local meetup in Dallas, Texas, and I attended that. And I found to have so many people who are interested in learning about RPA and UiPath in particular. And I was fascinated. Okay, so it's not only me. There are so many people who wants to change their careers from whatever they're previously working on to RPA, and especially UiPath. So I found it very interesting, and I learned about their journeys. And okay, I felt myself comfortable, and also try to attend conferences like these. So not only Dallas chapter, there are so many other UiPath chapters which are conducting so many events, like community events and all these things. So you have to try to attend them and participate in those events, like by asking some questions, and be proactive in learning, and asking very valid questions. Like don't ask some other random questions, like about what is the salary that they're going to pay you and all these things. Those are all unnecessary questions, right? So ask about what is that made you to come so far here, and what are the steps that you have taken to come so far here. So those are the valid questions. Try to be proactive, and try to attend some meetups. It can be online or in person. So those are the major things I would like you to focus on. Community contributions. And also community contributions means this is one of the way that I wanted to explain that I'm one of the contributions that I'm doing for UiPath community. This is the way that I'm also teaching and learning myself about what I can present for the students and what I can. In the previous session, I have researched something for Studio Web, so I have gained some experience on Studio Web, and this time I'm trying to explain what I can, what is the way that I can help the students in wanting to learn about UiPath. So these are the contributions that you have to think about. Like, if you want to collaborate in these kind of events, try to participate, try to pull crowd, or do some contributions like that, and you'll definitely be noticed there. Also, when someone posts a LinkedIn post about some UiPath article, right, try to comment on that in a positive way, or give your thoughts about this. Okay, this is something I tried out. Okay, it works very well, and these are the pros and cons. If you give your perspective, right, there will be a good learning curve. And there is an insider portal for UiPath where product managers and mostly senior developers are looking out for some options, or user experiences, by leveraging the beta version tools or beta version products that are coming out from UiPath. And they are looking out for some user experiences, as I told. And if you be proactive on those things, you'll definitely be learning about things. But if you are in very early career of coming into RPA, try to be active in the events like these, and participate in community events. Not only Dallas events, there are so many other events. Try to participate in them and try to ask good questions, and hackathons. So these are all the things that I did in transitioning my career from a .NET developer to RPA developer. And hackathons is the major thing that played a major role in transitioning my career. So there is one more hackathon that is coming up, the Hyper Hack of 2023. So we'll be sharing those details in the chat there. So you can participate in that as well. I mean, you don't need to win. Just try to participate and see what that hackathon is like. Try to form a group and try to explore the topics of what UiPath is looking for. What are the products that you can collaborate with? I think this mainly is focusing on like Gen AI, generative AI, with latest RPA tools, RPA products like document understanding and all the AI center tools. So what can you bring to the table? Like, what is the focus that you can bring? Like, try to focus in that way, and try to at least participate. You don't need to win. There is no winning and losing there. Like, if you definitely want to be competitive and try to win, that's very good. But don't keep winning that in the main criteria. Like, do your work. Definitely do your work honestly, and on a clear focus and clear mind. It will definitely fetch you the success and whatever the result that it requires. So don't keep the end goal of winning the hackathon in your mind and work. Just do your work and give your best. So that's what I did in my previous hackathon, and then that fetched me a lot of good deeds and good things. So that's how that's how the 4 networking with RPA recruiters, and those are the things that I followed in the previous way. And also at the hackathons, right? So you will be meeting lots of community managers like Diana and many other managers. So where you can share your portfolio. Hey, I'm looking for an RPA job. So they might be connecting you to some other interesting recruiters, or who are looking for some RPA positions to fill in, right? So that's also a very good way. So keys to a successful RPA career. Okay, now you have landed into an RPA job, and what is that you have to make sure you are following to make yourself successful in RPA career, or any career, like not only RPA career. So first of all, continuous learning. Don't think that whatever you know that you are going to sustain there for there itself. Even even not this is not only for RPA career or software career. Even the doctors, engineers, or anyone like mechanical engineers or industrial engineers or civil engineers, if they stop there, like they're dead. Like, you have to be a continuous lifelong student, and you have to keep the mindset of continuous learning there, and improving yourself. So there is so much more coming out in the new, but don't get don't be in the operation, in the verge of FOMO, like fear of missing out. So just keep focused on whatever you are doing, and try to understand and grasp what they are doing. Like, let's say there is a chat GPT, you might have, everyone have been using that, and Google Bard, and lot of large language models, and generative AI content that is coming out. So don't feel that you are missing out on something, right? So try to understand what they can do and try to implement those things in your day-to-day activities or in your day-to-day work environment. Try to understand how they can implement or how they can improve your efficiency at work. And you have to keep constantly learning them, and you have to try to stay focused. So coming to RPA, right? So you have to start learning about lots of new things that are coming up. So for that, I mainly focus on Insider. Insider portal is one of the UiPath's best way to keep yourself updated, like what are the new latest products that UiPath is offering. And I try to use them, and I try to give some of my comments and some of my updates there. Not only UiPath, not only Insider, try to also build, look into GitHub portfolios of other experienced developers and what are they building on, how are they implementing some machine learning models, or how are they implementing some Python models for doing some process mining or document understanding. Like, how can you leverage all these options? So try to collaborate these and collaboration. So it's not only you. Once you know something, right? So there will be someone else who is working even more harder than you, and you have to try to collaborate with them and try to also understand what they are building on and what is their experience and how they are sharing their tips and tricks. Like, share your tips and tricks, whatever you are doing at work with UiPath, and try to understand try to learn from their work style, right? So that is one of the collaboration styles that you have to inculcate in your daily career, in your regular career or of RPA career. And passion. So major thing is you have to be passionate about RPA. RPA is not going to go anywhere. It is going to stay. It is going to stay forever, I should say. And because if you see, Microsoft has been implementing a lot on their Power Platform, where even still the UiPath is the major market leader there. So there is a major trend that is going to come for RPA with automated Gen AI RPA also, that is going to take leverage options, and UiPath is going to play a big role in that. So I'm hoping that will happen. And you should be very passionate in learning of all those upcoming things, and you have to iterate yourself and in making this continuous learning and all these things. So these are all the circle that has to be followed. Like, if you're not passionate enough to learn about all these things, so there is no way that you are going to excel in your career to go to your next level. So that's what I feel. Yep. So that ends our session for today. And thanks for joining. And these are the ways that you can connect with Dallas chapter and see what are our upcoming events. And you can connect with Diana and me. These are our LinkedIn profiles. And this is the UiPath community and all the links that have been placed. So Diana will be putting these slides onto the UiPath community page that you have logged into. And yeah, any questions? I'm happy to take them.
Yeah, there was one question. Can you please share the link for UiPath projects in GitHub?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you share that in the chat?
I mean, there is no particular link in YouTube. Link in GitHub. I should say, if you go to GitHub and try to access. Okay, let me share my screen. I'll show you what I meant by that. Are you able to see GitHub on my screen?
No, I'm seeing your presentation right now.
Oh, okay. So let me stop sharing and reshare it. Okay, so this is what I meant by going into GitHub.
Yeah.
So if you type UiPath, right? So there are multiple ways of searching for these. So yeah, so this is the best match. So you can find Sharath Raju's. He's one of the UiPath instructors. He has one of the UiPath YouTube channel as well.
Do you want to put your top URL in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, I think we have a couple more other questions too. So Can you please, okay. Last mention. Hack. Okay. Thanks for sharing that, Diana.
Yeah.
Based on your experience, which topics or automation ideas would be better to cover, being more interesting and interesting to business in order to build a personal portfolio of sample bot projects? Yeah, that's a very good question. So recently, majorly people are looking for document understanding, like extracting information from PDF files and using some machine learning models. So those are the important portfolio projects that I would say to concentrate on. Try to like understand. No, there are so many things in those document understanding also, like one step short learning, like understanding the fields and trying to build a ML model yourself, or bringing the out of the box models. So try to build your portfolio with a small document understanding model and try to iterate them. So like structured PDF files, there will be some structured automation there. So there will be semi-structured PDF files, and you can build upon from there. So those are the ways that I would say to concentrate on. Yeah, I'm happy to take any more questions, or we can wrap.
And you guys can ask questions if you want to take yourself off mute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, Naveen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, Sindhu, I can.
Yes, I started attending your Dallas chapter recently from few days.
Oh,
So currently, I'm transforming my career from testing to RPA actually. So if you're learning the RPA, doing multiple number of projects. So once you got placed in X company, so everything nowadays, everyone are implementing this in their projects, actually implementing new things. It's not been years, right? They're implementing slowly. So as when you have joined to the team as a experienced beginner level experience kind of a person, how do you manage, what level of understanding you should have, whether to do things, to do how to automate or not, whether should we have understanding of the business, like process documents or SDDs, this kind of things?
Yeah. That's a very valid question, Sindhu. I can understand where you're coming from here. If you are asking this question, I definitely believe that you might have some previous working experience, not about UiPath, but some other things also. So if considering myself, right, so when I started working as a RPA developer in my first project, so I built an email template for them. So there is no such email template where they can put their table data automatically, passing their data tables into a component. So that is how I thought that can make some difference, right? So if you can think in that way, like, any process, like if there can be SDDs and PDDs which are regularly made by solution architects and business analysts. So those will be there. But think out of the box, like, if that is there, if the process can be more efficiently be made in your perspective, right? Bring that to the table. Try to build a small demo. Don't go and build into that project or component into the project itself. Try to build a small demo in a sample project and try to show it to your peers. It can be your business analyst or can be your solution architect. Like, take their thoughts. Hey, I built this external tool which can efficiently increase the process. And do you think it will leverage the process? Even if it doesn't work, right? If you're thinking that way, that you want to, put your thoughts, and if you wanted to bring something to the table, that will make a big difference. That they will think, okay, so and so person, Sindhu, is trying to think out of the box, and they're trying to help the project increase the project efficiency. That's what I would do if I'm in your case.
Yes. Thanks, Naveen. Thanks.
No problem.
Appreciated. So I was currently learning stage, actually. I'm like in the part of, I'll fall into the activities. Actually, currently I'm practicing the activities, Excel kind of activities. Sometimes, I get confused what activity we have to use. What is the understanding level? Because basics are the most important for us to, because later you will have different stages to things, How do you have a good understanding of the basis? If person
Yeah.
coming from testing background to RPA kind of things. Even though we know some things, we have to know the basics are very important,
Yeah.
like which activity we use. So can you please give us some hints and
Yeah.
golden points from your view?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not only myself, but many of the other people who are coming into RPA freshly, right? So even initially in my career, RPA career, what is the mistake I did is, if I got stuck somewhere, right? I used to open some forum or Stack Overflow or anything, and I used to get the best answer out of it, and I wanted to immediately implement that into my code. So that is not the right way of doing it. Try to read the whole thing, like try to understand what is the problem there. Like, let's say in your case, you wanted to use whether what is best to use, whether it is an Excel application scope or workbook activities. So mainly the utilization of Excel application scope is it has to have the Microsoft Office or Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint or Microsoft Excel spreadsheets to be installed in your machine. But when you're using workbook activities, right, nothing needs to be installed it. So if you ask me if I'm a business user, right, I don't want to spend money on Excel additional Excel licenses, right? So I will definitely go for workbook range activities. So how would you know this? So you have to read understand the problem there and try to read not only one solution, try to read multiple solutions and try to understand what they're saying end to end, and try to understand okay, what is that you wanted to implement there in your solution. So that's how I will go from that. Even this is the some mistake I did. I used to immediately jump onto the solution and I wanted to grab the opportunity of getting it corrected. So that is not the right way. So try to understand what is the problem and try to read the whole thing and then approach on it, like try to fix the bug or something.
Okay, Naveen. So since I have 5+ of years of experience into the testing fields, I'm into the performance testing background. So since this is the beginning of RPA, how much level of experience we have to add? Nowadays, we are seeing everyone are looking for the experienced senior people actually, not into the beginning level. So how should we swim here and get understand, work on this task?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I am recruiting some person at Ashling Partners who is having very less experience or who has no experience, right? As I told in my previous slides, I will look at their portfolio. How interested are you building your portfolio? Whether it can be GitHub or GitLab. How much have you practiced and how much have you contributed your time towards learning RPA? So that's what I would focus on. And then from there, I would get some understanding. Okay, Sindhu is really interested in transitioning into an RPA position. Then I would definitely give you an opportunity. That's no brainer thing, right? So if you have some prior experience, it doesn't need to be an enterprise level. Build your portfolio, do some document understanding project. I gave you a previous example. Someone has asked me. So start any small projects or regular automation projects, and also build one document understanding project, and try to build one AI center project or anything. And from there, you can start leveraging or building your portfolio, and which will give some confidence to the recruiters, right? To show that, okay, this is the real work that has been done.
Okay, Naveen. Thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem. Yeah, I think we are on the top of the hour, Diana.
Yeah, and okay. If you have any other questions, you can always reach out to us. Please do. And great session today, Naveen. And we just want to thank you all again for joining. And there's other sessions available on the Dallas chapter. So please look out for those too as well. Thank you so much, everybody.
Is there any meetups going on in Dallas chapter?
Yeah, let me just send you the URL in the chat. Hold on just a second.
Yeah.
And I put the hackathon one in there too. So you guys can check that out.
Yeah, we just saw. Yeah.
Okay.
And hi everyone. And Sindhu, you can also find UiPath Pushpar. Like in my recent learning days, I have found mentors where they can help you in whatever you're dealing with. So I found mentors who are helping me how they landed in their career. So that is really helpful. I can say they will give you some timelines. In the timelines, they can help you to work out with what all problems you're facing.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that's
you'll
good.
find
Thank
all
you.
that on community.uipath.com. So
Yeah,
I'll put that in the chat as well.
But push far. Yeah, I'll just.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for participating today, you guys. This was great. And thank you, Naveen.
Thanks, Diana. Thanks,
Uh-huh.
everyone.
Thank you.